Hello everybody, welcome you to Talladega as we are getting ready for NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying as we will set the grid for Saturday afternoon's Aaron's 312 from Talladega. It is a big weekend as the NASCAR Spring Up Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series will be competing in their 10th race of the year. 43 drivers here today are going to be going out to qualify to see if they will make the show for Saturday's race. I'm Eric Burton here in the broadcast booth, here to give you full coverage of qualifying. Before I go any further, I'd like to point out that I am currently battling the flu right now. So if you hear a little change in my voice, you probably know why. You'll know why. And if you hear a lot of coughing, you'll know why. So yeah, just be aware of that. Now today, qualifying is going to be a little bit different from what we had at Daytona earlier in the year. We're not doing the single car qualifying because that takes a little bit too much time to render, upload, etc. So we're just going to stick with the knockout qualifying that we normally do on all of the tracks. Round number 1 will consist of all 43 drivers entered in this weekend's race, and then the fastest 12 will advance into round number 2. Round 1 will be 15 minutes long. Round 2 will be 5 minutes. On your screen, you'll see the drivers who must qualify on time. The fastest 10, as you can tell, will make the show, and the bottom 3 go-get homers will go home. And the first guy leaving pit road to take a time will be the number 2 of Brandon Jones. Now at Daytona, to get the pole, you had to have a fast car. To get the pole today, you need a fast car and a few good friends that out there on track, as you see Chris Buescher making his way onto the track with a fellow Ford teammate, Eric Almirola, right behind him in that 43 car. See a few more cars leaving pit road. Brandon Jones, one of our Rookie of the Year contenders, and somebody who's had a pretty good solid year so far after 9 races. I believe he's 6 in points in that Menards Todd Chevrolet. Brandon Jones making his Xfinity debut start here at Talladega. He raced here in the Truck Series last year, but has never raced here in the stock cars in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And he will take the green flag right here to start his lap. Right behind Brandon Jones is going to be the 60 safety clean Ford of Chris Buescher, your defending champion in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and a former runner-up here at Talladega. Chris Buescher almost won here back in 2014, lost to Elliott Sadler. He's always been a pretty good restricted plate runner. He finished 2nd at Daytona one year ago as well. So Buescher knows how to get it done here on the super speedways. Eric Almirola in the 43, the Petty Blue Waffle House Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports. Brendan Gaughan, 62 car leaving pit road, entering the track, entering turn 3. Ross Chastain in the 4, the Flex Seal Chevrolet for Johnny Davis Motorsports. Eric Jones, one of our Xfinity regulars, already has 1 win in 2016 to come in at Fontana. Eric Jones right now the Freightliner Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. And then he got the 17 of Ryan Ellis, one of our go-get homers, and he has a fast Ty Dillon pushing him down the front straightaway. Behind them is the 5 of Casey Kane. Almost won this race back in 2013, lost to Regan Smith. Tyler Young, another go-get homer, must qualify on time. Ryan Sieg, Joey Gase. And we have a big pack behind them, the 88 Sam Hornish Jr. making his 2016 debut. His first start at Jenny Motorsports. The 1 of James Buescher, the 16 of Ryan Reed. All of these guys, great restricted plate racers. Ryan Reed carrying a new Lilly Diabetes paint scheme that will be running for the remainder of 2016. And you'll see a lot more newer paint schemes developed throughout the weekend, mainly in the NASCAR Spring Cup Series. Josh Berry, Rookie of the Year contender right now, 17th quickest. He's just about to complete his 2nd lap. Brendan Poole, David Starr, John West Townley, Ryan Truex. Had the 22 of Tyler Reddick and the 18 of Daniel Suarez, who's been pretty good at qualifying in 2016. 3 poles already in the first 9 races, including 1 win coming last weekend at Richmond. Got his first career win and pretty much punched his ticket into the 2016 chase for the championship. There's the 89 Lucas Oil Chevrolet of Morgan Shepherd. Great to see Morgan Shepherd with the sponsor Lucas Oil on board this weekend. And there's an 80 of Reed Sorensen, another go-get homer. Both Shepherd and Sorensen must qualify on time. They are right now 11th and we're right now 12th and 24th, as Benny Gordon has stopped on the entrance of turn 3. Benny Gordon is a go-get homer, and right now he has a problem down here in turn 3. His car will be teleported to pit road as the 26 of Jeb Burton, 40th quickest Bobby Gerhart, 13 of Mark Thompson, Cole Custer, 14 Dakota Armstrong joins TriStar Motorsports. Armstrong is a Toyota driver from BK Racing in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, so it's not really a surprise to see Armstrong drive some races for this team in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Then you got Brian Scott, Jeremy Clements, Chad Boat, and the 0 of Michael Self. Mike Harmon, another go-get homer. Chris Buescher, Cole Witt, Stanton Barrett, Derek Cope, Sean Corr, trying to make his debut in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. You got Brendan Gaughan, Al Mirola, Chastain, Darrell Wallace, Eric Jones, David Reagan, Blake Cook, Ryan Ellis. And right now, your fastest guy right now is that number 1 of James Buescher. He's running with his teammate Ryan Reed. Now, right now we have 2 drivers who have yet to take a time, the 97 of Parker Kligerman and the 66 of Benny Gordon. Right now the bottom 3 drivers who would fail to qualify would be Benny Gordon, who has yet to take a time, the 40 of Sean Corr, and the 85 of Bobby Gerhart. And let's take you to the top of the board. Right now you have the rookie Josh Berry leading qualifying right now. The Speed Coast Chevrolet. Let's see if we can find the number 7 of Josh Berry. And as you can tell, some cars all by themselves, like the 89 of Morgan Shepherd. That's not really where you want to be when you're a go-get homer. Tyler Young, 26th. Joey Gase, 25th. Ryan Ellis, 37th. See, something you can tell that if you want to. Now, there's a good chance that we'll see some surprise names inside the top 12 by the time we get to second round of qualifying. As you see, Parker Kligerman puts his first lap on the board, or second lap on the board. It's over 1 minute and 2 seconds. Right now, that 97 has had some issues in qualifying. Still has Benny Gordon in that number 66. As Daniel Suarez has jumped to second quickest in the 18. There's Sean Corr, that graphoid Dodge out of NBM. Darrell Wallace, 14th. Eric Jones is 20th. David Reagan is 6th quickest. He's a 2-time Talladega winner. Won the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race back in 2013 and won this Xfinity race here at Talladega back in 2009. Reagan driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, a powerhouse organization here in this series. And right now, 6th quickest for the 20 of David Reagan. Bobby Gerhart, he's now picked it up to 25th quickest. That is good news for Bobby Gerhart, as he is a go-get homer. And now let's look at the 12 drivers who would advance, as we are under 10 minutes remaining. Josh Berry is the quickest. Daniel Suarez, Brian Scott, James Buescher, and the 22 of Tyler Reddick. David Reagan, Sam Hornish, Chad Boat in the 84, replacing Mason Mingus this weekend. And there's Chad Boat in the 84 right up ahead of this lead pack. Chad Boat, Ryan Reed, and Jeremy Clements. That is your current top 10. Michael Self and Eric Almirola. Those are your top 12. The first guy out, the 43, I'm sorry, that Ryan Truex is 12th. Eric Almirola, he is 13th in the 43. John West Townley, Brendan Gaughan, Darrell Wallace, Ross Chastain, Ty Dillon, Casey Kane, and Eric Jones. As you can tell, a lot of good names outside the top 20 and outside the top 12 and outside the top 20. Got Chris Buescher, 26. Brendan Poole, 33rd. You had the two of Brendan Jones down in 31st. And now Benny Gordon, Mike Harmon, and Sean Corr. Those are your bottom three right now. Reed Sorensen, 35th quickest. He needs to pick it up a little bit to get more of a cushion. And we're going to check mainly down here at the bottom three, as Brian Scott soon to be picking up his RCR rookie teammate Brandon Jones. Brandon, the guy who replaced Brian Scott in that number 2 car. This is a one-race deal for Chad Boat in this Xfinity ride. Driver Mason Mingus has been in the car for the first 9 races, but he is out the ride this weekend as Chad Boat, a Rookie of the Year contender in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. He'll be racing again in the Truck Series next weekend at Kansas. Be in his car this weekend. And this is the final NASCAR Xfinity Series race before the All-Star race. So remember, if you have yet to cast your vote, to vote your favorite driver into the All-Star race, make sure you do that before, or really in the next couple of days. Next weekend, the NASCAR Spring Up Series and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series will be live from the Kansas Speedway. The NASCAR Xfinity Series will be off that weekend. And then the following weekend will be the All-Star weekend with Xfinity, Trucks, and Cup. So it's going to be a big next couple of weeks for NASCAR. Right now, the guy on the bubble making the show would be the 15 of Stanton Barrett. So should any of the bottom 3 drivers pick it up, that would knock the 15 of Stanton Barrett out of the field. So he's really sweating it right now. Reed Sorensen, 35th. Jeb Burton, Almirola, he's been booked down to 16th, as I'm guessing a few guys got in. Let's see, we have Cole Custer, Darrell Wallace, now inside the top 10, as that's just changed again. Ryan Reed in that Ryan Reed just jumped up to 2nd in that 16 car. James Buescher, 4th. 33, Brian Scott, Cole Custer, Darrell Wallace. We have 3 Roush cars inside the top 10. Then you got the Ford of Tyler Reddick, David Reagan, Sam Hornish, Jeremy Clements, and Michael Self, the last guy who would advance. We are right now almost under 3 minutes remaining here in round number 1 of qualifying. Drivers trying to hang on to making it into round number 2 of qualifying, by even more important drivers are just trying to make the show. Ken Stanton Barrett, Morgan Shepherd, Ryan Ellis, who's on the bottom 3 of the drivers who are right now in. Can they hang on? Can Benny Gordon, Mike Harmon, and Sean Corr pick up anything and make the show for Saturday afternoon's Aaron's 312? The NASCAR Xfinity Series come here once a year at Talladega. Last year, Joey Logano picked up the win for Team Penske. Year before that, Elliott Sadler won here for Joe Gibbs Racing. Year before that, Regan Smith won here at Jenny Motorsport. Won here with Jenny Motorsports. Chevrolet, Toyota, Ford, any manufacturer has been able to win here the last couple of years. Right now, Ford seem to be pretty strong with Ryan Reed, James Buescher, Darrell Wallace, Tyler Reddick, all at the top 10. Then you got the 2 underdogs, Jeremy Clements and rookie Michael Self, trying to hang on. You have Chad Boat, Ty Dillon now 14. That is your championship point leader, Ty Dillon. Right now, 14th quickest, not looking like he will advance. Well, you know, guess what, though? He's in this lead pack, but he's being held up by the 74 of Mike Harmon. Sean Corr has picked it up to 42nd. Has bumped Mike Harmon down to 43rd. But now look, Mike Harmon, he's being pushed by Ty Dillon. This could be a good lap with that 74. Mike Harmon, should he make it in, he would bump out the 15 of Stanton Barrett. Coming down to the line, can Harmon get a good lap, or is he too slow to go fast? Coming down to the line, he actually runs slower. Now he's going to be put in the middle, which is going to make him go even more slower. This will pretty much be the last lap for most of these drivers. Mark Thompson, Ryan Ellis, they're good right now. Eric Jones 24th, Darrell Wallace 7th, David Reagan 9th, Sorensen 36th, Morgan Shepherd 40th, as somebody got in. Benny Gordon has jumped in. Benny Gordon is in the show. Stanton Barrett is out. There's Gordon, 34th quickest. What a pickup by Benny Gordon. So now Stanton Barrett is out. Morgan Shepherd onto the hot seat. The 89 car, Barrett 41st. Core and Harmon. Here's Morgan Shepherd in that 89 car. Can he hang on? 10 seconds remain. Now, once that clock hits 0, everything will stop. The time and scoring will stop, and the last guy whose lap will count will be the 88 of Sam Hornets Jr. And somebody's just slowed down tremendously up here. I believe the 26 of Jed Burton has a problem or something in that 26 car. But the yeah, so let's go back up here. And a few guys have been bumped out. Michael Self's been bumped out. Eric Jones has actually moved up to the top of the board in that 11 car. And now once these final guys up here complete their lap, that will end round number 1 of qualifying. It's done. And that will wrap up round number 1 of qualifying for the Aaron's 312 here at Talladega. The 3 drivers who failed to qualify: Sean Core, Stanton Barrett, and Mike Harmon. Harmon misses the race by that much. 1/1000th of a second, a 52.142, a 52.143 between Morgan Shepherd making the show and Mike Harmon failing to make the race. What a heartbreak for the 74, but what a great job by Morgan Shepherd. He will hang on. He will make the show. Derek Cope, Mark Thompson, Ryan Ellis, Reed Sorensen, they all make the show, but Harmon, Barrett, and Core will not make it in. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll show you the drivers who failed to advance in round number 2. Stay tuned. Welcome back here to Talladega as we just wrapped up round number 2 of qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Aaron's 312 for Saturday afternoon's race. Here are the speeds. Here are the drivers who failed to advance in round number 2. Led up with the 98 of Ryan Truex. A lot of these guys were bumped out of the top 12 right at the very last possible second. Sam Hornets Jr. will start 14th. Jeremy Clements, Eric Almirola, Michael Self, Chad Boat, Dakota Armstrong, and Blake Cook at top 20. Brendan Poole, Parker Kligerman, Ryan Sieg, John West Townley, Brendan Gaughan, the 5 of Casey Kane, David Starr, Bobby Gerhart, Brandon Jones, and Chris Buescher at top 30. Row 15, that'll be a pretty good row of drivers who can make their way up towards the front. Further back, you have Joey Gase, Cole Witt, Tyler Young, Benny Gordon. A great job to make the show for Benny Gordon. Jed Burton, Reed Sorensen, Ryan Ellis, Mark Thompson, Derek Coop, and Morgan Shepherd made the show by 1/1000th of a second over Mike Harmon. But now we have your fastest 12 in this round, and we have a couple of names that we don't normally see in this round. One of them, or first guy on track, is at number 7 of Josh Berry, the Speedco Chevrolet. Now, the guy who wins the pole is not going to be running by himself. He's going to be in at least a tandem at the best. If you're in a group, you're going to be up at the front of the starting line, most likely. Josh Berry, Darrell Wallace, Brian Scott, Ty Dillon, James Buescher, David Reagan, Ryan Reed, Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, and Cole Custer. And now look, the 18 and the 22, that'd be two drivers you could like get together. They're not far apart. Well, they are in different manufacturers. 18 is Toyota, 22 is Ford. Then you got Darrell Wallace, he's a Ford. Possibly help Tyler Reddick. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what will happen here, as right now Josh Berry, James Buescher, Ty Dillon, and Brian Scott, and Darrell Wallace, your top five. And Wallace driving around that 18 of Daniel Suarez like he's sitting still. Berry. Now Josh Berry is right behind Ross Chastain, and a great job by Ross Chastain of making the top 12. An awesome job with that number 4 car. But is Chastain the weak link? Is that Johnny Davis number 4 car not quick enough to really help Berry improve on his lap time? Berry is quickest at a 51.557, Darrell Wallace a 51.751, and Brandon Jones a 51.767. Ryan Reed, David Reagan, James Buescher the second quickest in that 1 car, Ty Dillon third quickest, Brian Scott 5th, David Reagan the second. Yeah, you can tell Berry, even though Chastain's not the most fun team out there, he certainly did help Berry, because Berry is 2/10 quicker than David Reagan. Ryan Reed 4th. I mean, that could be a good break by Josh Berry. And I know, but look it up back here now. Daniel Suarez second. Tyler Reddick to the top of the board, that 22 quickest. And Daniel Suarez trying to get his 4th pole in 2016. He won the pole at Daytona, won the pole at, I believe it was Auto Club, won the pole last weekend at Richmond. I mean, he's been on fire when it comes to qualifying. Now, what we're most likely going to see, with 45 seconds remaining, one of these 4 drivers is most likely going to get the pole. A good bet would be that 0-0 of Cole Custer, because he'll be able to get a good air off the 3 drivers ahead of him. They will enter their final lap. They will have at qualifying, and right now, who's going to go to the top of the board? The 0-0, Cole Custer. So now Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick, your front row. Now Daniel Suarez, is he in the Casberg seat? Darrell Wallace Jr., is he in the Casberg seat? Custer and Reddick now side by side. Chastain's getting a pretty good launch off the 7 of Josh Berry. And I am going to just pause it a little bit. Can tell you though that Cole Custer is going to win the pole with that lap right there. Cole Custer is on the pole for Saturday afternoons, Aaron's 312 here at Talladega. I was not really paying attention to who was the last driver to go across the line, so we're just going to end it right there to make sure nobody gets a unfair advantage. But Cole Custer is going to start on the pole for Saturday's Aaron's 312 alongside the 22 of Tyler Reddick. 2 young kids on the front row. And then you got Daniel Suarez, Darrell Wallace, 2 other young kids up there. Josh Berry. How about Ross Chastain? 6 is where that number 4 car will start on Saturday. And then you got the 2 RCR Chevrolets, the Ty Dillon and Brian Scott, James Buescher and Eric Jones, David Reagan and Ryan Reed will make up your top 12 on Saturday. Also this weekend, the NASCAR Spring Up Series will be racing here from Talladega, the Aaron's 499, so be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the starting grid on the website. So that is all here from Talladega, and we will see you for race day here for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, race number 10 of 2016. Goodbye, everyone.